Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly. Welcome to I Got a New Deck. This channel I showcase tarot decks, oracle decks, divination system decks from my personal collection. I have not received a dime for any of these reviews. If that changes, I will let you know. Either way, the reviews are going to be fair and honest. Today's deck is one of my more unusual decks from my collection. It's from Bantock, and it is the Archeo Personal Archetype Card Deck. It's got a steampunky vibe to me, anywho. This is the packaging, which I love. This is a very thorough guidebook that comes with it. Here are the cards, so I'll move that out of the way. So, the stock is thin. It is rounded. Here's some of the illustration. So you see the line work is very delicate. The colors are muted. There's not a lot of script, just one name or an archetype label or title. So for example, this says Angel. This one is Metamorph. But just to let you see, Alchemist, Grace, Siren, Poet, Dreamer, Hierarch, Midwife, okay, Innocent, okay, Demon. Actually, this is my favorite card out of the deck, the Warrior. I don't know, it just spoke to me when I opened the deck and I was connecting with it. It, like I said, it's an interesting energy for me. It's, like I said, it's kind of industrial vibe. So it isn't overly fluffy. It isn't, overly inspirational. I don't know how to say it. It's very realistic is how I'm going to say it, even though some of the characters are mythical. So that this is Trickster. Okay, so I'm going to put those to the side. The stock, like I said, is thin, which means it has curved a bit. And that's okay. So there's many ways to shuffle like that. You definitely can do the side. You can do like this. What have you. So what I thought I would do is pick one quickly for the elements. So that'll be Earth. Earth first. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Demon. Wow. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. Let's read about the demon, shall we? Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Page 25 breaks down to 7. Seven's kind of shady, but the attribute. The demon is contrary and complex, offering you a glimpse into the poison chalice without demanding that you drink. If you keep him at arm's length and take his insights in homeopathic doses, he will keep you protected from greed and envy. But his greatest contribution to your cause is to make it possible for you to recognize those who wish you malice. persona. In many ways, the demon is the hardest archeo to acknowledge, yet he's necessary. Without him, we would be utterly gullible. On the one hand, he is a slippery manipulator. On the other, he helps us recognize dishonesty and duplicity, both in ourselves and others. If you keep him contained, his familiarity with animosity will serve you well. But if you allow him to convince you that your indulgence is your birthright, you will quickly lose your way. With one foot in the dark and the other dancing in blinding light, the demon is both tormentor and realist, and thus an unpredictable teacher or ally. Certainly you must hold him at arm's length, but do not try to banish him. You do not want him to be a dire enemy. When taking his counsel, it would be wise to call upon the sage and the warrior for arbitration and protection. Remember, your fascinations, addictions, and repulsions are your weaknesses, and he will try to play upon them, even as he's warning you of an external threat. So that's for Sun, Moon, Rising Venus, Earth signs, Demon. I've pre-shuffled numerous times. I try not to do it too much on camera, just because it's annoying. Okay, this is for water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Mobius. So I'm going to put it like this first. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it like that for a different view. And then I'm going to turn it like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like this because that's where the font is showing. Actually, let me, no, we'll do it like this. So see, he's eating his own tail. Okay. Let me see here. So Mobius. The attribute of the Mobius archeo teaches us to view time not in relation to our linear mortality, but in terms of perpetual circular motion. When you are no longer restricted by a sense of impermanence, your plans and decisions can be more deliberate. The persona of Mobius, eternity is not best represented by an arrow in flight, but rather by a worm following its own tail. The Mobius is the ending and beginning, death and rebirth in one. It is the phoenix emerging out of the ashes and the sphinx rising from the desert. With the understanding of the Mobius, we can live without fear, for he comprehends that death is merely a frozen moment, not a conclusion, but a transition from one state to another. If we let go of what was, we can better accept the future. Conversely, if we can cling to tired memory, forever gnawing at the bones of a dry carcass, then we inhibit any possibility of moving forward. All things pass, and times that felt dull and ordinary may later come food recollections. Paradise lost becomes paradise found. The Mobius entreats us not to throw away the present, craving for more of this and that, to bring all of your senses to bear in the now, perfect in all that is and is not. That's a very powerful message. And that's for water signs again. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Okay, let me just get, this is for fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So let me put those over there. We'll leave this over here. So this is Hierarch. Hierith. My apologies. There was a Hierith. Okay. And that's for fire signs. Let's read about them. Okay. The Hierith attribute is elusive. She is the sense of loss and nostalgia we feel for a place or a person that we never knew. She is the missing, that which lingers like a dull ache, grief in your bones. If you chase her, she will recede, but if you invite her to make herself known, she may approach and relieve you of your hollow longing. The persona of the Hierith touches something within us that sits hunched and gnawing in a corner of our souls, a vaguely conscious emotion that can never be brought to the surface and named. The Welsh has a word for this amorphous sensation, heareth, defined as a homesickness for a home to which you cannot return. Place which may never was, the nostalgia, yearning, or grief for lost terrains of your past, or the sadness that comes from knowing that someone who is deeply important to you is forever just out of sight. When we're young, we often believe this someone to be our kindred spirit of love. Later, we realize the missing person resides within, and in order to negate the clinging feeling of loss, we try to mend our self of being broken by searching for a way to bring together the fragmented parts. In hindsight, the missing part of us may in reality be what it first seemed, a shadow companion whose presence will only break cover when we turn sharply to embrace it. Ooh, I love that message for the air sign. I mean, not the air signs, the fire signs. It might be about an air sign, I don't know. So, last but not least, air signs. Air signs. Lion. You may be dealing with a Leo. I don't know. But that's interesting that you guys got lion. I will get there. Lion, where are we? There we go. The attribute of a lion, if you can convince him to be with you, you will also learn to temper your spurious inclinations, and if circumstances demand it, you'll be able to call upon his massive strength and ferocity. But he's not your pet. His noble heart exists to protect the abused and misused, and he abhors the cruelty of self-serving authority. The persona of the lion has learned to tame the youthful inclinations that once led him to waste his power. Instead, through resolve and self-restraint, he has harnessed his stamina. Merely watching his massive shoulder blades rising and falling like pistons, informs you of the force contained within his frame. Noble of heart and slow to stir, the lion is, for the most part, passive. But when provoked, he becomes a formidable force. When rampant, his will is uncontainable, and he will snap any chains placed upon him as if they were cotton thread. If you're able to convince the lion to accompany you, his presence will give you great security. However, you must never take him for granted. Whilst he will defend you against threat, he is principally there to protect the abused and those oppressed by authoritative misrule. So, this Oracle card deck, as you can tell, is interesting, right? It's a bit different. I like how, again, it's more rational. It's more logical. So I would say if you're a more rational, logical person, but the occult or metaphysics or spirituality, tarot, oracle has intrigued you, this would be a great deck for you because it is more bottom line. It's not too boo-hoo. It's not too fluffy. I don't think it's fluffy at all, actually. So if your mind's more analytical and logical, I think you would enjoy this. If you like steampunk or industrial period, I think you would enjoy this. The quality's there. The price point was $24.99 US, so add about $5-6 to that for Canadian. I believe I got the archeo from a local bookstore, but you can definitely get it off of Amazon. Nick Bantock, I just love the concept. I love the illustration. I love the bottom line message. I like that there's personas attached to the archetype and the attributes to each. It gravitated to me because it was so different than what I usually look for. So I knew it had to be in my collection because I have certain clients that are more rational, are more bottom line, logical. So I've used this deck a couple of times. I'm going to be honest with you, for some of my business clients. And they've learned, before signing contracts, personalities. They've talked about new employees, and stuff like that. This is a great journaling tool. I've used it for myself for shadow work, for my own self, for clients. I really enjoy that no matter how, demon, right? How there is, that interpretation versus what is light, what is shadow, right? I do recommend this deck for people that think outside the box, that like a little different. I also think that, say you're not into reading for anybody, however, I for some reason feel like people that like graphic novels, like reading comics and graphic novels, especially like I said, steampunk or industrial period concept, I think you would like this oracle deck just for fun for yourself. So my name is Kimberly. This is I Got a New Deck. I do hope you enjoyed this review of the Archeo, Understanding and Developing Your Archetypes by Nick Bantock. Highly recommend it. And until we're able to engage again, stay safe, be well, take care of you.